G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of the 4th, 2020, and the time here is 08:25 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Well, folks, as you can see, still no camera, regrettably, although you don't get to see my ugly mug, so that's probably a good thing. I don't know where it is. I can't find it. I'm going to have to buy a new one by the look of it, so just bear with me. But that doesn't mean that I can't get the message across. So without further ado, let's go to my sponsors. This is Totally Rawsome, the site for Totally Rawsome. They make golden activated turmeric paste. If you haven't tried it, you need to try it. Every single person who has tried this after my recommendation has written back and said, fantastic, reduced my meds, etc., etc. We have this now with everything. We eat it in our food, we drink it, we do everything with it, apart from bathe in it. It's the best stuff going, folks. So look, if you haven't tried it, give them a call. That's their details there. Contact telephone, the mobile number is 0433 165 848 and info@totallyrawsome.com.au. Okay, and if you need any information as regards to financial, this man here, David Morgan, who has the Morgan Report, is a guru, folks. Now listen, some people keep writing in and saying, oh yeah, you shouldn't listen to gold bugs or silver bugs or whatever, you know, the people that buy and sell this stuff. Look, he's very upfront, folks. He's not doing this. He's actually not, he's like Bill Holter, etc. You can either buy the stuff or you don't, but his main aim here is to advise you of what's coming. He's a good soul person, so, you know, I don't have any hesitation in actually recommending you go to his site and read up and as much as you can, and even contact David if you want. Right, so where are we? Let's go back. If you haven't already guessed, we are, if you add up all the money that these governments, the federal and state governments, are throwing around, we're going down a track of about over $1 trillion now. We obviously don't have the money to pay for that. None of these countries do. So we're in a pretty dire situation, and they are just going to keep doing this and keep doing it until, now this is the big thing, until Scott Morrison walks through those doors of Parliament House that he does these press conferences at, and he goes, folks, it's all over. There'll be no more money, there'll be no more this, there'll be no more that. Because realistically, folks, they can do 6 months and that is it. Before, look, even 3 months, 3 to 6 months, they can't do any more than that. So all those people who are thinking that they can actually keep this going forever, it's a big fat lie. Now, in the near future, a couple of weird things are going to start happening. One of those is that China is going to say, we're open for business. And we're going to say, we don't care. And America's going to say, we don't care. And Europe's going to say, we don't care. Now, China has strategically bought factories and airports and bloody milk, dairy farms, anything, you name it. And they will turn around and say, we want our milk from our farms to people like Australia. Now, if I'm wrong, or if I'm right, sorry, it's my bold prediction that very soon we are going to see more American troops in Australia. And I would suspect, we don't know about this yet, but I wouldn't mind betting that there's a cruiser, a destroyer, something of that nature on its way to Australia as we speak. Pretty bold prediction, but hear me out. China is going to turn around to the world and say, we're ready to go. Give us our stuff. We're going to say, get nicked. And in actual fact, I'm pretty sure in the next couple of weeks, Trump's going to turn around and say, by the way, you owe us $3 trillion for starting this pandemic. China's going to go get nicked, and America's going to say, well, those $2 trillion of bonds that you own, they're now yours. This is where this is all going to go pear-shaped. China is obviously going to say, well, that's not acceptable. And America's going to say, well, neither was the pandemic, thanks, guys. And it's going to get nasty real quick. Even if China sends us, ventilators or whatever, I think everybody's had enough of China, to be honest with you. Obviously, the Chinese are communists, so they have to supply goods and services, food, everything to their people, because the people look up for everything. So it's going to get tricky in the next couple of weeks, folks, so hold tight. But going back to the budgets, there is no budget anymore, and ironically, people are going to start saying, hang on a minute, who's paying for all this? And I've noticed even left-leaning news agencies are now starting to say, who's paying for all this? Because at the end of the day, someone somewhere has to pay for it. So this is the time where you need to ask yourself, where am I based? Am I based in a good position or a bad position? Do I have all the items I need? Like I said to you, I've been head down, bum up here, trying to prepare, getting things ready, cleaning stuff out, throwing stuff away, buying new stuff, eating. Here's one thing I want to say to you guys about your diets and your body at the moment. I'm eating like a pig at the moment. I'm trying to put on about 5 kilos, and when you're 56, it's not easy to do because you don't want to eat that much anymore. But I'm trying to put on at least 5 kilos and get to at least 95, 96 kilos. The reason for that is because when this all goes south, do you want to be 80 kilos going down to 70? Or do you want to be 90 kilos going down to 80? Do you get my point? I know this is going to be a bit harder for women, but for you blokes out there, you need to start eating, and you need to make sure that you've got enough body fat reserves to last you for at least a month, if that makes sense. Now, it doesn't mean you have to eat shit food. Eat good quality food that's going to give you a lot of energy and make you feel better. I feel fantastic at the moment because I'm just eating all the time, eating meals every couple of hours to try and put my weight on. And you do seriously need to do that, folks, especially you blokes, because whenever this does go south, it might be a year from now for all I know, but when it does go south, you want to make sure that you've got at least 5 to 10 kilos of body fat on you that you can lose. You will lose that rapidly. And I mean rapidly. If you're only eating one meal a day and you're having to trek, or you might not even be in your own house, but that's the reality is that is the reality. So eat now, eat whatever you want. Don't think about anything, just eat it. Okay? If you want to eat ice cream, eat ice cream. If you want to eat chocolate, eat chocolate. all these sort of things. Obviously, if you're diabetic, then, be careful. And as I said, go to the doctors, get a blood test, get everything sorted out now. And I mean now. Right, let's talk personal security. I'm just using this website as a viewing necessity at the moment. It's not where I get my archery from. I get mine from up the road here. Listen, the Australian government, by order of the federal government, has now shut down all applications for guns. So you can't get guns. So don't even write to me and say, oh, I'm going to get a gun. You can't. They've actually knocked it on the head. That was the first thing they knocked on the head, folks. But you can still buy archery kits and bows and targets and everything else you need to get yourself ready to know how to use them. So here in Australia, there's some great archery places. You can get slingshots, etc. I would highly recommend that you get both. I have, and they're just sitting there. I don't use them. I just make sure they're all together. They're all wrapped up together. So when I go, I just pick them all up and I go. Hope that makes sense. You can't get guns. Please don't write to me and tell me you can get guns, because you cannot. Okay? If you want to go on eBay, you can buy karate swords, samurai swords, katanas. Now, here's the thing. Be very careful about what you're buying. Buy one that's fully tanged, which means that the actual blade is part of the handle. So they're all forged in one big item. They're not two items, i.e. the handle and then the sword. Also, make sure that your sword, when you buy it, is sharpened. Read the fine print under these, okay? Because they actually tell you what they're selling you. If you get a blunt one, it's no good to you. And it's very hard to get them properly prepared with a blade on it that's sharp, okay? So make sure you buy one that has been sharpened, and make sure, read the reviews. The one I bought is beautiful. It's actually really nice. I'm actually going to buy another one for my son, actually. So they're cheap, they're efficient, and if you haven't got a gun, have a sword. If you haven't got a sword, get a bow. Okay? Now, this is a karate bow. It's hardwood. Now, if you guys don't know this, in the olden days of Japan, right, the most feared person was a person, an exponent, a professional samurai who used the bow. Might sound weird, but if you've ever been even slightly hit with one of these, it fucking hurts. It'll knock you straight out. If you get hit in the face with this, point to point, it'll go nearly straight through your head. Okay, that's how hard these are. Now imagine fighting someone who knows how to use one of these things. They hurt. And they're 6 foot long. So you've got 6 foot between you and the person who's trying to get to you. Okay, that's the point. Once again, read the reviews, buy proper ones, don't buy shit ones, buy hardwood bows. Okay, preferably without all the, try to buy ones without the sealer on it as well. Now, when you buy these, women should have a 4-foot bow. Men should have a 6-foot bow. But look, it all depends on the person as well. If you, whichever one you're comfortable with. Some men like 4-foot bows. I don't. I like the 6-foot bow because I'm 6'1" and I'm 100 kilos sort of thing. So it just feels better in my hand. It's not illegal to own these, folks. Each of your family can have one of these, and you can actually quickly learn how to use it via YouTube. If you know how to fight, I mean, as in boxing or karate, these are made as an extension of your arms. So the bow is used in the same configuration as, you know, throwing a punch, left, right, roundhouse, blah, blah, blah. So you use it pretty well as if you're an exponent of karate, you can pick one of these up and pretty well use it straight away. Because you've got some idea of, you know, what we call the arc. Okay, but they're not hard to get and they're not illegal. Hope that makes sense. Right, before I go, I'm going to say this again so you all understand what's going on here. I'm sure you do know what's going on. Ask yourself this very simple question. How can Wall Street be 2.6 up in the current environment? How can the Australian Stock Exchange be 1.87 up in the current environment? And the very simple answer is that it's rigged. The governments are buying the majority of the stocks. Now, read all that, right? Wall Street closes in the green. Cast your eye down to the next. Now, this should make you think about this a bit more. Britain's economy, this is the whole world, by the way. Britain's economy could contract as much as 35% in the second quarter of this year, the most since records began in 1956. You get the picture. This is from the World Trade Organization, who is screaming from the rooftops that we are now going to have, sorry, I'll bring it back up. So it's the middle one there. Global economy to suffer worst year since the 1930s. So folks, look, just ask yourself this simple question. If you own a business and you shut up shop for 6 months, what sort of state is your business going to be in 6 months' time? With no income, bills to pay, etc., etc. Well, the very easy answer is you're going to close up shop. You're going to go broke. Now, take that analogy and use it as a country. If you close up a country for 6 months, what's going to happen? You're going to go broke. So, unless the only way out of this whole mess now is if they call it debt jubilee, which is, I got to be honest, I've said it 100 times before and I'm going to keep saying it. That's where I reckon they're taking all this. You'll go to bed on a Friday and you'll wake up on Monday to a whole new world with a whole new currency, and all the other debts will be gone. You'll be able to, every single business, every single country will be able to open up on Monday at zero. Think I'm joking? Let's see how this plays out. But like I said, if you close a country for 6 months and that country is a business and you can't pay your bills, you can't produce anything, you've got people to pay, bills to pay, in 6 months you will be non-entity. Not even that long, 3 months you'll be a non-entity. You will not be the same. Hope that makes sense. Let's do the prayers. Wow, this is a long verse of the day. The resurrection of Christ. Now, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you of the gospel I preached to you, which you received and on which you have taken your stand. For what I received, I passed on to you as of first importance, that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, that he was buried, that he was raised on the third day according to the Scriptures. Very good. And as always, folks, we'll end with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. I'm just going to say something here about this as well. It's been interesting lately that people have been writing to me in the comments and that, and emails, and saying, I was never one to listen to the Lord's Prayer, but I am listening to it now. And do you want to know why they're saying that? Because of this. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Interesting, eh? It's a simple prayer, but it means a lot, folks, which is why I say it. Like I said, I'm not religious, but there you go. I think you need prayer in life, even if it's every couple of days. Now, I'll put all the karate stuff, etc., in the links if you want to find them on eBay. Please use some discretion. Don't just buy the first thing you look at. There's plenty of them on there. Go through the whole lot. Look at the reviews. Ask people. Don't just go and buy a $120 katana and think that you're going to buy a good one. Do some research, especially the same with the hardwood bows. Okay? All right, everyone. Prep out. God bless.